Hey everyone, welcome to another video here from the windowcleaningstore.com. In today's video, a little bit something different. We're not talking about tools today. We're going to be talking about window cleaning bidding. And back between 2007 2013, I actually had a window cleaning business. This was before I opened up the store. And window cleaning bidding is just like any window cleaning company today. It's a big part of your process for getting jobs, besides just advertising. And back 2009, 2010, my business was starting to blow up a bit. The website was performing well, so I'd get calls from all over Toronto, and Toronto is Canada's largest city. So driving around to do bids, it just wasn't in the cards. It was just be too much driving. Well, luckily, around the same time, Google Maps and especially Google Street View became a handy tool to use in order to guide you in bidding over the phone. Now, along with having Google Street View, you had to have in place a good script that you'd run through this script with the customer, so you could break it down, what kind of windows they had, how old were their windows, how many, the size of their property, etc. And back then, when I was just starting to use Google Street View, I hadn't really gotten my over-the-phone script dialed in yet. And so I had this one particular job where a customer called me to do a bid. They needed their windows cleaned because they were going to sell their place, put it up for sale, and they needed to get the job done pretty quick. So I pulled up the Google Maps there. I pulled up their address, and well, let's have a look, and you'll see kind of my first impressions. Okay, so after pulling up their house on Google Maps, here it is here. Took a look at the rest of the neighborhood. Looks like it's a bunch of bungalows, side splits, maybe some back splits. So I asked the customer a series of questions regarding how old their windows were, whether or not their house was actually a bungalow like it looks here, or was it a back split or a side split. I think we determined that it was a back split because the bedrooms were on a different level. They gave me a number of the window openings and told me that some of them were sliders, some of them were single windows. And I forget exactly the count, but I think I came up with the customer's help, about 30 window panes. And at the time I was charging $4 per side on a window pane, so $4 times 30 times 2, that was around $240. My minimum for this kind of house at the time was $250, and I also usually would put like a little range. I'd say $250 minimum, maximum probably about $300. We can confirm the window pane count when I got there. And they liked that price. They said, okay, that sounds good. And they got on the schedule. I believe it was like a noon appointment on a day the following week. So I was pretty much set on the price I gave them, or the price range that I gave them. And the day came to do the job, and I showed up, and actually had a very unpleasant surprise when I arrived at the house and had a walkthrough. So I'll go back to Google Street View so I can kind of show you in detail what I was up against once I came to actually do the work. So here is looking at the house in greater detail. Looks like a bungalow in the front, but the customer told me back split. It was a bit more than that, and I don't know why I didn't do this, but I failed to go around the corner and take a look at what we have here. We actually have, here, let's bring this up here. We actually have a much bigger story, and I'm going to go through what's going on here in this house. It's very, very deceiving. So you enter in through the main floor. You have a living room and a dining room. You have a walk-up, and you have the kitchen area, as well as a closet on the other side of the house. Another walk-up again, and you have some back bedrooms. So far we got 1, 2, 3 levels. Now also from here, instead of walking up, you could walk down, which is pretty much the same level as the main floor. So 1, 2, 3, and this is about the same level. But you could take a set of stairs down and go into the basement, where they had a basement apartment. They had their parents living with them, so this was their basement apartment. Well, guess what? This basement actually had a sub-basement, an even lower floor. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels in this house. Those 30 window panes that we came up with, it was a whole different story. And you see these windows here? These are actually new windows. This is looking at Street View 2022. I was doing this around 10, 12 years ago, as I've said, and they were all cheap old sliders. I think it actually came out to about 70 window panes. So you think 70 window panes times 4, that's $280, times 2. $560, way off that $250 to $300 quote. Luckily, the customer and we came up to an agreement. I explained the situation and we met halfway. I think I ended up doing it for about 400 and 400 even, and everybody was kind of happy with that. I ended up having to work into the evening to get it all done. It started raining about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't a fun day at all. I didn't make nearly as much money as I should have on this house. But it's, what I tell some of my customers, some window cleaners who come shop at my store. When you make mistakes like that, it still is paid learning. It's not bad when you're a single window cleaner, but if you've got a crew, you don't want to mess up like this too often. So very lucky for me on that particular job, the customer was understanding. The customer did sell their house. They did move away. I never heard from them again. I don't know where they moved to. Regardless of whether or not they were moving, I think because of what happened, I probably wouldn't have gotten a call back from that customer unless I did a really, really super exceptional job. Because, I gave them one quote. We ended up making it higher by the time all was said and done. It's good that they were understanding, but this is not something that you want to get into. So Google Street View, I know a lot of the new guys starting up, they're still using the Google Street View. Just get your script dialed in so you don't make the same kind of mistake as I made way back then. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. TheWindowCleaningstore.com. Bye for now.